We're starting with $10 billion, but I need way more zeros than that. So in saying that, we're going to need a lot more upgrades today. Let's get the most expensive one possible. Samurais dropped one more coin. And they now give me 15 million per murder, which is pretty good. We have a 5 times multiplier, $25 million a second, and about 16 jelly beans. After the bonus, we're back up to $8 billion. Shortly thereafter, we're going to buy another 50 levels of farms just because we can. That's about $10 billion worth of upgrades. That put us up to $5.6 million a second. And I'm starting to realize it's definitely time to prestige. Progress has been slow, and that's because we need the multipliers we're going to get from this, so we're going to go ahead and ascend. So we're back to committing one murder for $1. Oh, never mind. We got a 5 times multiplier already. So we're going to spend some of our ascend dollars. We have 16 to work with. So we have to start with this one. So there's $1. This is the one I mostly wanted. Increase coin value by 250%. So we're going to get 5 times the value. There's a free buy all upgrades button, so I'll take that. Then increase passive income by 75%. Then we have another one to increase passive income by 50% on top of that. And we're going to run out of money pretty soon. I would like that one, but I think for now we're going to take this one because it's more helpful to me. Max speed step increase by 2. And then I can't afford this one anyway, so let's just go ahead and buy this one. Away income increase by 50%. I'm not leaving you, but we're going to get that. Anyways, that's going to help me make some money. So 1 level of farm now gets me $3 instead of 1. Oh, I did buy 10 levels of it, so that's why. So let's buy some of these, and we're already up to 122 per second, so much quicker than it was last time. I missed the idiot, that's okay. 336 per second. So I think we're going to start playing with the buy all button, because we've bought all this before. Buy all. 1,400 per second, buy all again, 2,400 per second, buy all, 3,200. We're going up in increments of about 800. So it's been like 30 seconds and we're making $6,000 a second already. And that means it's time to buy some mines as well. We're just going to buy one of those at a time until we can't buy any more, just because I can, I guess. We're up to 204,000 per second, which means we can buy some taverns. Yeah, the prestige was definitely the way to go, because look at how fast we're making the money back for these. When we left off, we're making 5 million per second, which is not that much more than we're making now, timing wise. So I'm going to buy this one to the next level, this one to the next level, this one to the next level. The tavern upgrades are getting a little bit expensive. They cost $1 million, so we need to go back to this other tab and buy all. That puts us up to 280,000 per second. We buy all again, 340,000 per second. You get the idea. It gets big quickly. And we've earned another 5 jelly beans while we were waiting. And we're done with tier 2 entirely, 384,000 per second. It's crazy that thanks to prestiging, we're already back into this zone. It's been like 3 minutes. I didn't mean to miss that. Anyways, we need another 2 levels out of this. That puts us up to 750, and this one's going to add some big value, 870,000 per second. And then we can already buy up to blacksmith level 10, so that's going to put me from 930 to 1.3 million per second. I haven't even bought one of these yet. I am going to buy the more dense enemy waves right away. It's going to cost half of my current money, but there's going to be a lot of enemies, which add up to a lot of money. One murder is worth $16 million. And I feel like I just blinked and we made $370 million, so we're going to buy some of the barracks, because those are going to add big value. 1.62 million, so we're basically a third of the way to where we left off before prestiging. I hardly know which upgrades to buy. They're all so easy right now, so I'm just going to try and get blacksmith level 25 for now. And we got a lot closer than I thought I would. And there it is, which takes us from 2.5 to 4 million per second. We're basically where we left off, and we're still going strong, which definitely should mean we can buy all sorts of different things. We're just going to buy all up to 4.75 million, and then buy all again. There's really only one thing that's going to show up, because this one's still pretty cheap compared to the rest. I think next I want the barracks up to level 10. We got it to level 6, we're up to 5.6 million, so by the time I get it to level 10, that should give us a pretty nice boost. I'm also going to spend only 26 million getting this to the next level. That did actually make a 10% increase in our overall earnings. I wonder if buying the next 50 levels of farm would do the same, or this one. I'm going to do this one because I think it's worth more. 6.2, yeah, that gave us like a 33% boost to our passive income. And also thanks to our prestige, our number's higher here, so I think we move a little faster, and it's just a higher multiplier for killing idiots. So yeah, these are worth 250 million to kill 2 of them without any bonuses. So we're going to increase the farm, so we're going to go from 8.7 million to 9.07 million. And a lucky fairy? Yep, 4 times more earnings, so good. Where we're at it, we're going to increase the Hellhound's income, so killing them gave me $1 billion, or $500 million each right now. And to be sure I don't miss any, I'm just going to put the auto clicker on and take a nap. Look at that, we've killed enough things to have earned enough. to get the dojo finally. That's going to add 3.67 million, so basically an extra 10% passive income, which is a lot. Let's try 7 levels there. We can just keep creeping this number up because we're getting up to $50 million a second fairly quickly. Okay, I've just been using this strategy to pick away at things. We're up to $50 million a second, so every 20 seconds we make $1 billion, and murdering things also really speeds up that process a lot. And then we're up to 22 jelly beans if we want a prestige. We don't really want to yet, but the more we can save up of those, the better our bonus is going to be when we do. The blacksmith and the barracks are both getting somewhat close to the next level. It's going to be a few minutes before we get there, but we will get there. It only took a few seconds before we could buy our 5 levels here, so we only need another 4 and we're going to get some kind of big bonus, but we're already pretty much at 60 million per second now. Okay, $30 billion apparently is enough. Another 4 levels up to level 50 brings us from about 59 million to 83 million, 85 million per second. That was a big increase. So now it takes all of like 13 or 14 seconds to make $1 billion when I'm not killing things. Plus we got an achievement, I think, for killing. Oh, and we got a 4 times multiplier. Isn't that convenient? Now it would be cool to get the lineup of idiots so we could murder them all at once, but we'll wait for that. We can get this up to its next level, so we're up to 122 million per second. That was a 50% increase to our earnings, which were already ridiculous. So while we're at it, let's see if we can get a little more value out of enemies now. We can actually. We can get a samurai's better drop. I just figured we would because he gave us 5.7 billion. He gave us about 5 billion now. So there's $20 billion for killing 3 people. Once the bonus wears out, the number's going to drop again, but that's pretty good money. And actually this tax reform is going to work a lot now because we've had so many building upgrades that touching this once gives us about $2 million worth of increase. Now we can get a 5% increase for 16 billion, so why would we not? That gave us $6 million all by itself, and we'll get a better chance for emeralds. What does 10 levels of farm get us now? About $1 million, so that's not bad, but it's like a less than a 1% increase at this point. I could maybe get mines up to level 100. It's going to be expensive, but it's going to be a bonus. And there's a lot of good prestiges. We'd already have enough for those 2 if we want. So we get more enemies and the coins would increase by 90%. But I also want that and that. So we're going to need a couple hundred jelly beans. But, oh, I got to pay attention to what we're doing. That kind of snuck up on me. I didn't realize that was about to show up. But there's $200 billion. So we now have a little over $250 billion. I'm just not entirely sure what I want to spend that on. It's not really that there's no wrong choices here, but there are stupid choices, and I'm probably about to make one. I mean, I could buy a bunch of these. Every one of these for $14 billion is going to give me another $2 million in earnings. I think for now that's most cost effective, so I'm basically going to close my eyes and do this, and we're up to $161 million per second. I've got enough for the next 5 levels for level 100 mines. First we're going to shoot that. Oh, we're going to get extra coins, so let's do this, which brings us up to 172 million, and we need to murder everything we see. So I think right now it's still in our best interest to do some 3% upgrades, because 3% of 175 million is a lot. That's going to take us up to almost $200 million per second now. If I sit in this menu and just touch everything green, we'll very quickly get up to actually $200 million a second. Okay, we're going to buy another 3 taverns, brings it to level 80. We also get an achievement for that, so that put us all the way up to $202 million per second. Which is great because the upgrades are getting stupidly expensive. The cheapest one right now is 32 billion, so we're going to buy one of those, and that did add 5 million per second to our earnings. Okay, I think we're going to try and buy 2 tax reforms, which is a big increase again. And here's a beautiful samurai frenzy. We don't have any multipliers on top of that. I wish I did, but this is going to be a ton of money. Probably going to need to repopulate the area. So I think I'm mostly just going to work on getting some things like this to level 10, that to level 50, and that to level 100. I don't know which is going to be easiest or the most valuable. This one's going to get me actually about 8 million per second, so I want lots of dojos. Even this one gets me an extra 4 million, just like that. Okay, I got an achievement just now, and we also just got a really big bonus for about $500 billion, so we're up to 1.34 trillion. And that's really good because I can finally buy the next 6 levels of the dojo, which will take me from 279 million per second all the way up to 394. So that was not quite a 50% increase, but in that neighborhood, so that was really, really big. That also gave me the opportunity to buy another one of these, which puts us comfortably over $400 million per second. And here's a 4 times multiplier for murdering things, so we're getting about $30 billion for every hellhound we kill. That little bonus gave us about $550 billion, half a trillion. Wait, there's a fairy. Come on, big bonus. Well, $40 billion is still pretty big. And I'm actually only 22 tonics away from the next enemy, or whatever that's going to be. Which, now that I look at it, is still going to take a while because upgrades are still pretty damn expensive. So let's do tax reform. That's going to add about $9 million in earnings. We're not quite at $500 million per second, so we're doing pretty good. We can be doing better. I think it's time to prestige again because we're going to get a bigger bonus based on the amount of jelly beans and everything we can buy. So let's just go ahead and do it before I overthink this. So now we get to buy things like every building level increases by 0.1% and increased by 30% is a big one. I forgot I didn't have this, so I can't really buy these two. Actually, I could buy these three if I want to, but 30% increase here is also nice. I think I'm going to do the top range. I'm going to do these three. Then I don't have enough left over, but we're still doing pretty good. We have a 36% bonus there. So I think this will, auto kill people for 1 minute, so I don't need to do it, so I can be in the menu upgrading all my stuff if I want. So we're going to max buy things for a sec, just to get the numbers rolling again. I have a feeling we're going to be making our money pretty quickly. Okay, there we go. That jumped up to 44,000. There's 56,000. There's 58. If we keep buying buildings, you get the idea. It's going to get very big on us very quickly. Okay, a few seconds later, we're up to $1 million per second again, so we're quickly closing in on where we were before. 1.65 million now. If we can make more of these hit level 50 or the next bonus, that number's going to go up quickly. Plus, I've mostly been ignoring these for a second, so we're going to spend $220 million to double our income. Then we do that for another 25%. Enemy waves are more dense is a big one because we get so much money from killing things. We've already unlocked the potential to buy a dojo. We got a $721 million bonus there, so I need to pick and choose carefully to get my multipliers going. Okay, there's a level 50 tavern that puts us up to $13 million per second. We're at about 400 million when we left. So progress again is much quicker than it was before. We can get level 100 farms too. Not that that's a particularly big one, but it helps. What I want is the barracks. Another 5 levels of this is going to take us from 14 to $19 million a second. And the amount of levels does matter. Like this one's going to be basically up to level 100, but all those individual levels are going to add up to extra percentages for me. And we finally got a 5 times bonus increase, so I'm going to let this guy auto attack. Which means we're free to buy another 10 levels of that. That put us up to 388 million with our bonus. And I can even buy my first dojo, which puts us up to 606 million. We want to get that to level 10 as soon as possible. But before the bonus ends, the bonus is restarted actually. So we're still making $755 million a second. So that's pretty good. Hopefully I get this up to level 10 before this one runs out. We're going to buy a few of these because it's actually worth it right now. Another dojo upgrade put me up to $850 million a second. We're closing in on the $1 billion a second mark. Well, we hit a fairy and it wasn't quite the bonus I wanted, but it did still give us a pretty big influx of money. So we could buy another one of these. The bonus ran out, but we're up to 178 million base. Which means that when I buy this one, where it goes up to $227 million per second. And I've been kind of ignoring these guys for a while. I'm just going to buy all this for now because I'm too lazy to figure out what I want to buy, and look how quickly they come back. And good news, we just got another 5 times multiplier, so we're now making $1.5 billion a second. So let's increase the value of idiots. Will get us an extra 5% earnings there. A whole bunch here, $1.6 billion a second, $2.5 trillion, so that's not bad. The bonus has ended, we've got $3.5 trillion to squander on stupid purchases. It is actually another $112 billion to get mines to level 100. That added $10 million a second, so that'll pay for itself in no time. And we're officially ahead of where we were before, so we're going to increase this a little bit. Every one of these adds $6 million in value, and it's still reasonably cheap. Oh, I should be paying attention to the dojo to end this. Every time we buy one of these, it's going to add $20 million per second, which obviously is tons. And we can afford a few of them, plus these even are adding 5 million each. Okay, I really need to pay attention to these more because this adds 2 million each, and we can buy quite a few of them pretty cheaply. Basically, what I'm trying to say is we're up to about 2/3 of $1 billion per second. Things are definitely getting expensive again. I've got $2.5 trillion I can spend on something like 8 levels of this for another $40 million in income, which is pretty good. That's $40 million per second. Then there's an extra 7 million there, another $500,000 there. And I need to remember that this number doesn't tell the whole story, because we get extra for these numbers too. So we'll do one of those just for funsies. Officially $750 million per second. It's basically just jumping back and forth between the screens because once we make progress on the other one, these ones suddenly seem cheap again. So we can click on this. That gives us $15 million per second extra. Even this one gets an extra $10 million a second. Emerald chance, yeah, we'll take that. We got a 3.5% chance to find an emerald for 5 times value. It definitely won't be long till we're at $1 billion per second at this rate. Taverns are getting pretty close to level 100 too. We might be able to get them there. Doing this is going to add 2.3 million. Well, it's still more worth it to get that for 5 million. And I'm going to focus on this right now. It's also the cheapest for the most game, but it's almost level 50 as well. And we got an achievement for Emerald Splash, $815 million a second now. I just also got a 4 times murder bonus after losing my big bonus. But now that it's back to full, we are getting almost $100 billion per murder. Oh, and we get to double this too. So that by itself is going to take us from 815 up to $1.1 billion per second. So that was a legitimate 25% increase, which is absolutely huge at this stage of the game. There's $360 billion for that. It would be great if we could get a little more value for murdering these guys, but that's going to get expensive. Oh, never mind. Now we can do it. Samurais drop 1 coin more. So we're going to go from 1.1 billion to 1.14. Okay, this one isn't worth it right now. This one should be, though. 5% increase. It'd also be great if we can get this one to 100, but that's going to be an expensive endeavor. Well, 5.2 trillion isn't actually that bad, but it's a little bit bad. We are also only 10 upgrades from unlocking this. They're going to be very expensive, but we're very close. So I'm going to see if we can grind that out. So basically in the time it took for me to make and consume a hot dog, we made $40 trillion and we have a 5 times multiplier going right now. So we're currently making $6.4 billion every second. I feel like that means we could probably afford a new upgrade like this one. This is going to add $223 million per second to our income, plus a big double bonus. Long story short, there's $11 billion a second. We need 3 more, so we're going to go a 5% increase, 5% increase, and probably one of these. And there we go. We got the next tier of stuff. And we're making $12.2 billion base damage money. So increase money by 0.5% per upgrade tier finished. I think these are these, so that might add up to probably not a great deal, but we're about to find out. So 12.2 to 12.4, so not really that great. This one though, just increased by straight up 2%. Yeah, absolutely. But for $5.7 trillion, we can upgrade our taverns to level 100, which, yeah, added quite a bit of value. To further increase that, this is going to add $63 million per click, and we can click that a few times for sure. Now we're up to $3 billion per second. Which I think means that every time we touch this is going to add quite a bit of value. That already took us up to 3.1, there's $3.2 billion per second. And it looks like we're at a bit of a slow point again, so we're going to let this run for a week and then pick it up again. But lots of money so far. $86 trillion earned so far.